gonna wait a few more minutes till everyone gets here. The really full class is gonna be.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have to do something with my dog. I'll be right back, and we're gonna wait a minute. He needs a cone on his head. I didn't do this kind of roster.
Professor, my sister's trying to get in and she's still on the waiting screen.
Hmm. Why am I not seeing it? Let me see. Not opening for me. Hold on one sec. What is it doing? I just had it a second ago. God. I don't know how I lost it. There it was. Okay. I don't see anyone waiting to get in. What's her name?
Diane.
I don't see Diane.
No, Cheyenne.
Cheyenne. Oh,
Mhm.
I still don't see a Cheyenne.
Okay, I'm gonna go see what's going on her end.
Make sure she's got the right link.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm so sorry for being late. I've been looking for the Zoom meeting and couldn't figure out where to join, so.
Oh, it's right on the front page of the syllabus.
Oh, okay. Do we miss anything?
No, I haven't started yet. I'm still waiting. It's
Oh, okay.
10:23. We don't start till 10:30, so
Oh,
we're
to 10:30.
so you're not late.
Okay. Probably read the information wrong because I heard it started at I think 10 a.m. So I was kind of confused. I'll make sure to write that down. Also, I want to.
Listen, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Oh. Also, is it okay if me and another student share the Zoom meeting? Because I have Omar Solano here and he can speak too.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're on my roster,
Yes.
Yeah.
Solano.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Omar.
Yeah,
That's
and then
fine.
okay, thank you.
Okay, she tried leaving and coming back in, so
There she is. It's supposed to have like 25 people in here, so I want to wait a few minutes because I don't want to start. Did all of you get a chance to look at the video?
I did not.
I sent a announcement out to try and look at the video before class. There's a video on principles of design.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That was what I was teaching design in person during COVID, and where that was a quick transition, I'll tell you.
Yes, I had seen it yesterday.
Oh, good. And then there's a painting video that I'll ask you all to watch next class. I want you to get your sketches done first.
But when are the sketches due by? I couldn't find it.
We'll meet next week. Your sketches are just thumbnails, small thumbnails. I think they're 2.75 by 3.25. And they're just line drawings. So I'm asking you to do at least 4 of each principle.
Oh, okay.
And they're not, don't get all involved in tone and color and all that stuff yet. Just simple line drawings. I'll show you some examples.
Oh, okay.
I just yesterday finished my 2nd master's degree. Praise the Lord, it's done.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a degree in business, and it was, for an artist, it was very challenging. I had to
Oh
do
God, I can imagine.
accounting and taxes and spreadsheets and
Oh God.
it was awful. But I'm done, and I got straight A's.
Oh wow. Congrats. That's amazing.
It is for me. I'm shocked that my brain still works that well.
I know, right?
Kind of amazed. But I'm so glad it's over. I haven't not had homework for 2 years, every week. Lots of homework.
Oh God, how long did it take?
2 years.
Wow.
It was all online, but I haven't had a weekend free for 2 years. I'm so excited to just be done.
Oh wow. Yeah, you need a vacation.
I do, and I don't have time because we're starting here the day after.
That's true.
Where are all my peeps here? There's a lot on this list.
How many are supposed to be here?
It's like 25.
Oh wow.
25.
Dang.
A lot of people can't figure it out on the first day.
Yeah.
How do you say your name? It's pretty. Ravana?
Lavana. Yeah.
Very pretty name.
Thank you. Got it from my grandmother.
Ah, I'm named after my grandfather, Lester.
Oh
I'm
really?
glad it's a girl.
Yeah, I didn't know many Lavanas, and
That's
now it
pretty.
seems like there's a lot more.
Really? I've never
Yeah.
heard it before.
I'm not exactly sure where it's from. I could never find that out.
It's got love in it. That's good.
Yeah, it's like Love Anna in a way.
Yeah. I'm not in person at all this semester because I had shoulder surgery 6 weeks ago. So I'm
Oh
finally
God.
lifting my arm. Oh, it hurts, but I can do it.
What happened?
It's just worn out from years of painting.
Oh yeah.
Really worn out. There's
My
no
mom.
cartilage left.
Yeah, yeah. My mother just had shoulder surgery as well for her rotator cuff.
Yeah, I didn't really have that. It was just, well, my bicep was totally detached, and which isn't
Oh
a good.
wow.
No.
Well, you're a true artist, that's for sure.
Yes, exactly. I also had a cage put in my neck because that's all got all worn out from all that. I used to do 12-foot pieces. So
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm developing carpal tunnel from the computer.
yeah, I know that my hands aren't good after that degree either.
Oh God, I bet.
Well, I can't believe this is how few people. Should we wait a few more minutes, do you think?
Sure.
I would love to see your faces. It would be nice, so I don't just see names.
I know I look like crap.
I look like-
Don't worry,
I
do
doubt
too.
it. Well, we're starting with a beautiful face there. All
Aw.
right, we're
Hello.
done with that.
Thank you.
Hello. Well, hi.
Hello.
Everybody's coming to life.
I love seeing your faces.
I need to buy a camera because mine is like on a little tablet, so it's like upwards.
I know mine's
I
not
want
good.
mine too.
Oh, you guys have some nice cameras though.
I suppose.
I can't turn on my camera actually because I had put I had put a sticker on the
I have
just
one of those things that slides so I can like
yeah.
turn it off.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
I went the silly way and used the sticker.
My actual job, get up, put makeup on, take a shower, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's a good thing I added so many people because nobody's, this is like not even half of what I have on my roster.
I think people might be using the link that's on the calendar because that's what Cheyenne said she was going through.
Maybe I should. Let me
Are you-
post. No, it's not real.
Is this class in Discord?
No,
No, but we can make a Discord.
you can, you should. My whole degree, I had a text link with everybody, which was
Oh.
really helpful.
Yeah, because a lot of people use Discord nowadays, and if you were just like to announce stuff on there, it'd be probably easier because some people aren't tech savvy.
Canvas is kind of confusing.
I'm not tech savvy, just so you know. I didn't grow up with a computer in my hands like some people. I grew up with one of those pogo, those things that you hit the ball with.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want a ball. And a Zorro outfit.
Zorro.
Okay, let me type in, I'm gonna send an announcement. See if anybody can find that.
Are you guys hearing my voice 2 times?
No.
Okay.
Let me see if I've got any emails. Okay, send this.
Oh, that's why I can't log in.
Well, let me see if I have any emails from people that they can put in.
One of them was from me.
Is Priscilla here?
Yeah, she just arrived.
Okay, Alana,
No.
okay. Oh Lord. I can't do that unless you. Yeah, there's a lot of people that so I have on my stuff 10:30 and then I'll double check because we can meet at 10, whatever's better for you guys, I don't care.
Oh yeah, people probably should start showing up after 10:30 then.
Yeah. I thought it was 10:30, that's how bad I am.
On Canvas it says 10.
Does
Mhm.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We've been sitting here for a half hour already. We're gonna get- Okay. So hopefully some of you got to look at the video. If not, you'll want to do that after lecture today. Let me go to, where are you? Review. Turn it off. Okay. Got a few more. Share screen. Fine. So there, can you all see that screen?
No.
No, you're not seeing the screen. I hit full screen. No. Why not? I might have to bring my tech support son in here because I'm so bad. I haven't done this for a while, so.
Do you have share screen right below next to start
Yeah, I
video?
do, but it's always you guys helping me get through. So. Share screen. It's not opening the Canvas page, which I just tried to do. Hold on, I'll get it, I promise.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Can't see that when I open it. Let me go back to the Oh, Lord, Leslie. Here's the. There we go. Okay. Yay! Got it. Okay, good. So, as I said, there is this introduction to principles of design, and that is that's a video that I made about a year or two ago. But it really talks about principles of design, what they mean, what they how to start to think about them. And what principles of design is really how do we organize on a two-dimensional surface or a three-dimensional sculpture or whatever, but how do we organize? And I always say that the reason why Martha Stewart is so famous is because she took principles of design, really simplified them for just about everything that she put in her magazines, that she put on her television show, and used it over and over and over. And principles of design have been around since the beginning of time, and they will be here forever. And to organize space, it's a very important thing to begin to understand. And I'm hoping, at least after my very first design class, I started being able to see things differently. And that's what I'm really trying to have happen for you. How do you compose something? It's like, oh, I hear all the notes, but how do I compose it? How do I make something from the notes? I know about color, I know about line, I know about texture, I know about perspective, I know all those things, but how do I compose and make a beautiful thing from it? So I want you to watch that, and then we are going to go, and also you will watch the that's not it. You will watch the video for painting also. This is the introduction video, so you'll watch that. And I'm gonna move you guys off to the side here so I can. If you all see anyone wanting to get in, will you let me know? I forget to look.
Okay.
So principles of design are, once again, how we organize space. And on the Canvas page, there are several examples of different principles of design, and I want to go through them with you. The video goes through this in more detail. But symmetrical balance it doesn't mean that it has to be perfectly symmetrical, but it can imply symmetry. Often when you make something totally symmetrical, what do you think might happen?
Mm-hmm.
Visually, what happens if it's totally, absolutely symmetrical? It might get boring, right?
Well, yeah, extremely.
Yeah, it becomes very predictable. So something like this implies symmetry, very close to symmetry. The same thing here, the same thing here. They're not exactly the same, but it contains more visual interest just because. I keep trying to move this in a way that you can see. Oh my God. I bumped the, let's go back, new share. Don't tell me I lost the whole damn thing. Oh my God. Seriously.
I think it's over there to the right,
Order.
the last tab
Let's see it.
at the very top. It says launch meeting Zoom.
No, that's nothing.
Oh.
Let's see, we share. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It is that one.
Oh, there.
Share, okay. Sorry. Let me put you over here so I can see better. Okay. It won't focus right on those. There we go. There we go. So you want to think about principles of design in a way that symmetrical design in a way that isn't boring. So when you look at this, the colors change a little bit. It's not perfect, but that's what brings visual interest. If we do all Rorschachs, do you know what a Rorschach is? Where you blob ink in the middle of the page and you fold it and it spreads out.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So if we did all that, it would just be exactly the same and not really visually interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like adding character, giving art
Yes.
character.
Yes, it's putting like a personal touch into it. Asymmetrical balance is how do you balance two sides of something without it being perfectly symmetrical? This girl was amazing. Look at that. It's just
I
the
know, I love that.
funniest. And these are all examples of student works, every one of these. So once again, I want you to know that it doesn't have to be really complicated. This is simple, a very simple design, and it still very much works as it's asymmetrically balanced. And what does it is probably that bright yellow to that deep violet, and that's pretty much all it takes. Red, yellow, the bright yellow to the medium value red. So think about visual weight. One object could have more weight. This actually has a lot of movement in it, so it kind of wants to balance. Do you see that? Do you see that this
Yeah.
kind of wants to balance because it leaves you thinking, oh, there's something over here that's going to balance it out, right?
Yeah.
This balances visually because both objects are similar in size. This is a little darker value, but that they do balance pretty well, especially with this blue to white. And in the techniques, it's going to tell you how to do this stuff, how to make all those spatters and stuff. I love when students look at the video and use it because there's some fun little things I've learned along the way.
Were these made by students?
These are all student works, yeah.
Nice.
So there's two principles of design. One is repetition and one is repetition with variation. Why do you think I asked you to do repetition with variation rather than just repetition?
It's more interesting.
Yeah.
More interesting, definitely more visual.
Wouldn't be boring.
Yeah. And I want you to know too, when you come to this class, so many people say, oh, I'm terrified, I can't draw. That's what this person said. And he made some of the funnest, most interesting designs of
Wow.
anyone in the history of my class. He couldn't draw very well. But it's not about drawing. Design is not about drawing. It's more about how you move things on the page and balancing color and weight and just visual interest. So you don't have to be able to draw. This entire thing was done with tape. Very meticulously. This was all done with tape. So they put tape down across here, across here, across here, across here,
Oh,
and
yeah.
pin it in. If you use the blue tape, this was all done with blue tape also. The masking tape. So that's going to be part of our materials list. And I'm going to go over that with you too. But repetition with variation is definitely more interesting to look at than just exactly the same. Can you all think of an artist that used repetition with variation all the time? Can anyone think of someone?
Warhol?
Absolutely. Why do you think he did that?
Make it more fun.
It is more fun, but Warhol had, since you guys are the age you are, and I'm closer to Andy Warhol's age, He went to the same college as me, by the way, and we found some
Wow.
of his pieces in the drawer in the classroom. How amazing.
Wow.
And I actually have a skull from that classroom that the professor gave me, and it may be one that Warhol drew from. Yikes. Anyway, I'm very excited. So he did that. What Warhol really was is a barometer of culture. And the different time period, and this is just an example of how design can influence the message that you're trying to get across. So Warhol, when I was a kid, we didn't have big supermarkets. We had corner stores. That's all that was there. And the butcher would be in the corner store, or else you'd go to the butcher, you'd go to the place where there was vegetables, and you'd go to the bakery. You know, there were very few canned goods. It was all pretty much fresh food. And like if you did go to the store, there would be one can of tomato soup and no other soups, maybe chicken noodle, maybe tomato. Imagine what it's like now when you go to the grocery store. How many choices of soups do you have?
So many.
Hundreds and hundreds of choices of soups. So Warhol was talking about mass production and consumerism right before it started. The term superstar was coined by Warhol. There was no supermodels before Warhol. He was really speaking about this expansion of pop culture that no one had ever experienced before. And he was early on in his career, people didn't like what he did. But once they figured out what it was about and the speed of culture got faster and faster, everyone knew what mass production and consumerism was about. And that's what his early paint, with those repetitive soup cans, besides he said, I like tomato soup. That's what it was really about. Rhythm or movement is a very fun and easy one to figure out. And these are all on the Canvas page, so you can come back and look at them again. If you look at this one real closely, look at the designs inside of there, just to really give it a lot of visual interest. And I think she used like an acrylic pen. So all that stuff is really open to you. You can use acrylic pens, you can use acrylic paint. I'll go over the list before we check out here. But all of these are very rhythmic and really nice little paintings, I think. Everything you do in here will be 11 by 14 or 6 by 6. And these ones are all 11 by 14. So rhythm is one of the easier ones, and I think focal point is also. So you can achieve focal point by scale, large to small. Directional movement makes this the focal point. Directional movement makes this the focal point. You all see that?
Oh yeah.
And this, once again, is the guy that said I couldn't draw. But what a fun, I mean, I would wear a shirt with this print on it.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
The colors are nice.
Yeah, the colors are really nice. And he was so surprised that he could do well in the class. It made me very happy. But I would definitely wear that print.
Yeah, I like that.
So one of your pieces, I didn't add that in the syllabus, but I will. One of your pieces has to contain, you can do it more than one, but at least one has to be collaged, just so you experiment with different papers and play with it. This was a magazine photo of a red striped dress with billowing fabric, a gown. And she cut it out and made it into this kind of fish-like shape. And I think it's a really successful way to do things with the bubbles and very kind of fun. So, and this also is collaged into the clock. So I want you to think about, adding something to it. There are several collage papers at Michael's and Joann's, but you don't have to buy paper. You can use old magazines. I don't care. I want to talk to you about how you glue things before we actually do that. And you remind me to tell you about that because there's a very specific way to do it that, that I think I show you in the video, in the painting videos. You just have to put medium on the larger piece of paper, on the background piece of paper, medium on the back of whatever you're gluing here, medium around here, put that on it, and then put medium on top of it. And that really seals it so it doesn't move. It won't change color as readily if it's a magazine paper because it's sealed in acrylic. Scale and proportion, there's my guy again.
I love this
Oh,
stuff.
God. I love them. Scale and proportion is one of the more difficult ones to think about. And I think one of the most, I don't have a picture of it, one of the most successful ones that ever happened, there were 3 scales of dots, like animal print, just like my dog, my black and white dog. So the background was really big ones, big black spots. The one in the center was a Great Dane shape with medium-sized spots, and under the Great Dane was, and they were totally defined by the spots. The smallest one was a Chihuahua with spots, with little tiny spots defining the edges. So
Oh,
it
that's a
was
good idea.
really a very fun way to think about it. You can simplify it. This works too with the giant moon and the big mountains and the house out of proportion with everything. Certainly this placement on page really is something we're going to talk about too, where when you place something in this area, anywhere down here, what happens? It starts to appear closer to you.
Yeah.
Because of what our orientation to a horizon line. We're so used to determining what's closer to because we're used to looking at a horizon line. And the video talks about that too, scale and proportion and placement on page. Unity and harmony is really about, it can be an idea that unifies something, it can be color, it can be shape, it can be like this one, I think is really unified by that kind of ethnic patterns, and it really is based on so we took a trip to the Bauer Museum in
Yeah, I love that.
I love that museum.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it's a great, maybe we could do that towards the end of the semester, just all meet there. That would be so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Have come to class. And there is a train from Riverside that goes straight to Santa Ana, about a block from the museum. So if there's no transportation, that's a great way. Or we could buddy up. But I love to do this assignment. We go to there, you take something, it's totally, everything is, it's the really diverse cultures and peoples, and it's all their design and applied design, which means the carvings in a boat, or, you know, when you say applied art, it means it's something that's made to do something, like a beautiful teapot, a teacup, a boat that's carved beautifully, a bed headboard that's carved beautifully. But that's what the Bauer Museum is based on, and this is based on a mask, I believe, that he saw there.
Yeah, it looks like a tribal mask.
Yeah, and created from that. So maybe we could do that. I'll look at the calendars and see if we could do that closer towards the end of the semester or mid-semester, if you're all interested.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Getting some
Oh, yeah.
guys. It's a fun day rather than being here
Yeah.
in our houses. And this one is just little animal prints throughout, which I think is very adorbs and just a geometric. So once again, you don't have to be able to draw to do this, just geometric pattern. And it's a very unified design. I love that it's put on a slight angle because it really brings more visual interest than if it was put straight across there. So those are basic principles of design, and you'll go through the video and look at that. And
I just have a question.
Pardon me?
I just have a question. For each design, we're doing one for each design or a
You're
few?
doing sketches for like 4 per each design, but you are doing final little paintings, 11 by 14 paintings of each and every one. So you'll have several weeks to do these because there's 7
Oh, okay.
altogether. So don't worry that I'm gonna like, I want these all next week. No. I want good works, not slapped together works, right?
Okay.
So let me then go to the syllabus. And y'all saw that our meeting times are on there.
Mhm.
Maybe in October we could go to the Bower sometime. Let me
Yeah, that
see
would be fun.
what, like I'll do you, because I have a Wednesday and Thursday class, and maybe we'll do a week apart. So one of the most important things to me is that you show up to class, because then I feel like a failure. And I don't like that feeling. I like to see faces. I like to, and the critiques are really one of the most important things we do. It's where you all get to talk about your work, and I get to give input, and class members get to give input. So it's very important.
Yeah.
According to the college, if you miss more than 2 of our, really it's 1 meeting time, I could drop you.
Yeah.
Because it's only occasional meet. So you really, I don't feel like there's many excuses to not be in class besides jury duty or, something tragic in your family. But it's important, if you're not going to be here, to let me know so that I don't get grumpy about it. I did not miss one class. Now that wow, in my 2nd degree, I did not miss one class. I had shoulder surgery, and all through my 1st degree, my undergraduate, my other graduate degree, I have never missed a class. So you
Yeah,
got,
it shouldn't be too hard. It's just online.
yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. You don't even have to drive anywhere. You can't give me my car broke down. We can say my brain broke down, but it's really important that you're here. So I'll just read through this. I'm sure you already have. It's an introduction to the fundamentals of 2-dimensional design. And these principles all apply to 3-dimensional design also. The organization of visual elements according to the principle of design. So line, color, texture, those are elements. Principles are rhythm and movement and balance and those kinds of things. And you'll be really familiar with these by the end. And it's interesting to me because students that I've had in my design class then go into a figure painting class of mine or a painting class, and I love when I see that they really understand principles of design, because you create good, interesting compositions. Our goal, how many of you have been to a museum and looked at art? I'm hoping most of you.
Yes, I have.
When you go, most people go through a museum, they go through kind of at a trot, unless something pulls them in. And good design is exactly what will pull you in. I mean, why do you think that Target logo is that Target logo? Because it just, you go, what the heck? What is that? The first time I saw a Target logo, I recognized it from then on, right?
Yeah.
So you want to create designs that that pull people in, whether you're a fine artist, a graphic designer, a painter, a illustrator, whatever. You want to create designs that have visual interests that bring people's attention to what you're doing. They might walk past 10 paintings. I love that when I'm in a show and they'll walk past 10 pieces fast and then they'll stop at mine and go, that means I did something right.
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't even have to be complex. It can just be very
No,
simple.
it does not have to be complicated. It just has to be visually interesting. I use a lot of very symmetrical design because I think of my work very altar-like and spiritual. And it's always about women. It's about empowerment and women
Nice.
and spirituality and trying to connect us as women for power. That's what my work is about. And I think it's very effective. I mean, one time I did a piece and it was my son, but he was down in there's a yoga pose, it's called child's pose. And I had a kind of brutal childhood and I kind of whipped paint onto it.
Mm,
It was splattered, and an old woman came up to me at the show and she said, "Oh my God, honey, what was your childhood like? It must have
Oh, yeah.
been." And I'm like, "It wasn't great, but I'm here." And
Oh, yeah.
I can see it in the work. I can see it. And the title of the work was Most Obedient Boy.
Wow. I
It
love
was,
that.
it was very moving to me that when you do something and someone gets it, it's really based on how you make marks, how you design the whole composition. The point you're trying to get across has to do with your materials and your eye. That's all.
Yeah.
So when you learn good design, it's a great complement to what you're doing.
Yeah, putting your emotion and feeling into your art it feels amazing. And to see and
Well,
have everybody else notice
there's
that.
no, I don't do it for the money, that's for sure. I mean, I sell pretty well, but I don't do it for the money. I do it for my soul.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah. So our materials list, Bristol board, and you want the vellum surface. There's two different surfaces. You don't want that slick, smooth one. And this is what everything you do will be painted on this semester. I'm going to talk about brushes, but you will need assorted brushes, and I have some photos to talk about that. You just need a little sketch pad to do your thumbnails in. You don't need a giant one, just a small sketch pad, and just a regular pencil is good for that. Erasers to work with that. I highly, highly suggest that you get good paint. Do not buy Liquitex Basics. Do not buy paint from Walmart. Do not buy the low-end academic brand of paint at Michael's. Because what happens with that paint is they put way more binder in than they put pigment. So instead of putting one coat of paint on, you're going to be putting 5 coats of paint on, especially in a yellow or paler color. It takes forever to cover because there's not enough pigment. So you're much better, you will use much less paint if you buy Liquitex or Golden. And there's a list of colors here. You don't have to buy every one, but you do have to have red, yellow, blue. And a lot of them are suggested colors. For me, I always get a large tube of titanium because you use more white than anything else. Ultramarine is just probably the blue that will. I use more phthalo blue because I like turquoise a lot in my work, so I use more phthalo. If you want to make a perfect turquoise, you have to have phthalo blue and phthalo green, phthalo cyanine. Some of these are more expensive than others. Naphthol red will be cheaper than cadmium red because cadmium, the harder the pigment is to find, the more expensive the paint is. Right now, Michael's is having a buy one, get one 50% off. So that's a pretty good deal. I don't know how else to do this. You do have to buy paint. And when I was in class, I gave a lot of paint away, but since we're not here, I can't just squish it on the screen and give it to you. So it wouldn't really work. Just make sure you have a good array. And some of these, like Hooker's green is extra. You will need a Mars black. Yellow ochre there's no way to mix this color really. so I suggest you buy it. I always use, well, at home I use a big piece of glass to put my paint on. There is a Walmart and Stater Brothers are the only ones that carry it, and it's cheaper than buying the real palette paper. It's butcher paper that has a plasticky coat on one side, and you put your paint on the plasticky side, and then you can just throw it away, or you can tape it down onto a board and then wrap it in plastic and spray it with a water bottle. I don't know if I have that on there, but to keep your paint wet while you're painting, you need a spray bottle. And if I don't have it on there, make sure you know to get that. Obviously scissors, you'll just need a ruler at some point, probably, if you're going to make more geometric things. Drafting tape is the blue tape. Pencils, we don't really need charcoal. There is some acid-free colored paper if you just want to cut out shapes, and it's origami paper that's at Michael's, and it's not very expensive. Origami, not origami, origami. And this kind of goes through all those principles of design, so you have it there and you know what you need to do, and gives you detailed explanations of each principle. Color schemes we'll talk about later, color quadrants. We go to, I don't know, I'm trying to remember where the, I don't know what this is here. Oh, here. So this kind of gives you, this is both this is Liquitex and Golden paints. They're display at Michael's. Those are really, they're the highest quality paints you can buy. And I really suggest you learn how to work with good paint, because when you're rich and famous as artists, that's all you're going to use. You can buy these inexpensive brushes at, there's like and they'll last you through this class. They won't last forever, but they'll last you through this class. And they're not very expensive, and they'll be fine. I do suggest you get at least one bristle brush, which is a harder bristle. It's hog hair, and it's stiff. You'll recognize it when you see it, because they're great for a technique called scumbling, which is in that video on painting. One thing you will need is gesso. Every piece of paper that before you paint on it needs gesso on it. You need to tape it down, put a coat of gesso on, because the gesso keeps from absorbing your paint into the paper, so you use less paint, right? So make sure that you have gesso. It's way cheaper than paint. You don't have to buy that huge bucket, but you do have to have some. I also suggest, they have little tiny color wheels at Michael's, and it's really good when we get into color theory for you to have that. They're not very much money. I think they're $3. So I'm going to talk a little bit about brushes. This is a bristle brush, a real bristle brush. This is a round, what we call a round brush. And those are really good for drawing with. So I wouldn't suggest one this big. I just use one this big so we could have a picture of it. But anything that you really want to draw with paint, you use a round paint. You use a round brush. These slanted, imagine what these might be good for. What is a slanted brush good for, do you think?
The corners.
Corners, and you can create a really straight line.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a slanted brush. Like the edge of a shape, you can
Oh yeah.
move that right around the edge of a shape. And filbert brushes, any impressionist painting, if you look at the brush strokes, they are filberts. That's what they use the most to dab into the paint. And this is the only brush that I ever use for a technique called scumbling, where you have one color underneath and you dip it into a lighter color, or it could be darker also, and you want the paint underneath to show through, you take this brush very dry with paint and scumble on top of it, so you let that other paint show through. It's a beautiful blending technique, and it's in the video also.
I just have a question about paintbrush care.
Okay.
I've always been really bad with it.
Okay.
Do you just do you let it sit for a while in water or warm water, or how do
Here's
you?
the deal is with the best thing is to buy some soap, the paintbrush soap, because it has a little bit of oil in it that keeps the bristles happy.
Oh, okay.
And one thing you need to know, okay, I have a brush here, right?
Mhm.
Why I have a brush at my desk, I don't know, but I have brushes everywhere. There's one on the kitchen island too. So when you wash a brush, you're gonna take it into that soap. It's a cake of soap. And you can just buy a bar of Fells Naphtha soap too, just at the grocery store, if they still
Okay.
sell that, but I used to use that when I was in college. When you wash a brush, you get it wet and you start doing this to try and get the bristle to get the paint away from the what do you call that part? I can't think of it. This part of the brush, the
Yeah.
wooden part of the brush. So you start pushing it away, then dip it into the cake of soap, and you need to rub it into your hand
Okay.
to get them really clean. The problem with acrylic paint is your brushes, if you buy expensive brushes, there's a little cage, and I have it in the other room, but it's wet because I was painting. There's a little bucket that you set inside of a bucket that has spirals on top,
Okay.
so that the brush fits into that spiral and doesn't rest on the bottom in the water. When you buy, like, some of my little tiny brushes are $35, $40 a piece. And if it sits on that, which is, it's a natural squirrel or mongoose brush, it bends. So you don't want to do that. I put it, the expensive ones, I'll put up in that little spring, and so the bottom doesn't touch
Oh, okay.
the bottom of the bucket. And you can get those online at Dick Blick or any of those online.
Okay.
It's
Thank you.
just a bucket you insert into a bucket with a wire.
Right.
So I do you have any questions on supplies at this point? Michael's doesn't have very many brushes right now, but they have a ton of paint, so.
There's actually an art store here. I went to the
Yes.
other day called Urge Palette.
Yes, and they'll give you 10% if you say you're in my office, you say you're in my class.
Oh, okay.
And Michael's, right, like I said, is right now, buy one, get one 50% off,
Oh,
so that's kind of good deal. But I do suggest Fritz's store too. He carries everything for my design class.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm trying to think what else we have to go over. Do you have any questions? I think things will become clearer once you watch the video,
Yeah.
but does anyone have any questions? I need to take roll, so don't leave and take roll.
I just had I had one question about the materials list.
Mhm.
So the Liquidex or Golden Matte Gel Acrylic Medium, and then below it says Liquidex or Golden Acrylics plus 1 tube of Dioxine Violet. Are
Oh,
those two separate?
yeah, medium is clear and it dries clear. That's
Oh,
what you mix with your paint to do glazing or transparency without losing pigment.
got it. Okay,
Does that
thank
make
you.
sense? So if you have yellow and you want it to be oranger, you would take some red, a small amount of red, mix in the medium and just glaze over top of that yellow, and it will turn it yellow orange.
Oh, got it. And
And
then,
the matte medium is what we use to glue things down.
ooh, okay, thank you. That makes sense.
And it's all archival. That's why we don't use Elmer's glue and stuff like that to glue, because it's not archival. Archival means that it won't change color, it won't change the color of the paint, it won't destroy the paper.
Got it. All right, thank
And
you.
it's like painting in plastic. If you can imagine that. Because it's all polymers. When I was first in art school, I went to art school right out of high school. I didn't like it because I knew I could not be a commercial artist. That's what I thought I wanted to be in. Well, I wanted to be a fashion illustrator. And by the time, right when I started that program, imagine that in newspapers and ads, it was all drawings in the early 70s and late 60s. It was all drawings that people would use to illustrate fashion. And then they started using photographs right when I was in the middle of the fashion illustration program. And I went, wait a minute,
Oh, no.
something's changing here and it's not going to serve me well. How often do you ever see a fashion drawing anymore?
Rare.
Unless it's from the original designer. So I dropped out of that school and
Oh,
applied
no.
to university.
I kind of have
But,
the same fears with AI.
I was about to say the same thing.
I hate that stuff. I'm telling you, I hate it. I spent 40 years learning how to paint and draw, and I'll be damned if it's
I
going to be
know.
taken away from me, you know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
And
it
no
goes
one
away.
will ever, AI can never replace the human soul.
Yeah, the
ever.
feeling and emotion cannot.
There's no emotion, there's no, I mean, it's fun to play with.
Yeah.
But I don't imagine me ever using it in my art. I didn't work this hard to get this good and not use it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And the human hand is amazing. I mean, think about the great art that's been made over time. And
Oh, yeah.
I was saying, whenever I was starting school in the early 70s, acrylics just came out on the market, acrylic paint. So Liquitex used to come to art schools and give away huge boxes of acrylic paint, which
Wow.
totally got me hooked. It got all of us hooked on acrylics. No one wanted to paint in oils because they smelled bad. They gave me headaches. Plus I smoked and oil paint and all that stuff. It's like, my teachers used to smoke in the classroom. It was
Wow.
crazy. I know. They'd be like, not good. Everybody smoked in the classroom and just put the butts out on the floor.
Oh my God.
Like one of the top universities in the country. It's crazy.
You could really smoke inside the class?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
We all smoke in the classroom. So stupid. Now if I even smell a cigarette, I gag. And if I'm in figure drawing and someone goes out and smokes, I say, well, I'm not coming near you the rest of the day. You lost the instruction. Because I can't stand the smell of it at all. So any other supply questions? So we didn't go over, wait a minute, I know what I want to go over. I want to talk to you about the first assignment. Do I have it in here? I'll talk to you about what that was. So yours, I'm hoping I have an example. Okay, so let's get this. Do you have anything? This is where you submit your sketches so I can look at them like the night before. Anything that we submit, please have it submitted before, so we're all ready to, when class starts, to go through them, because it's going to take a while because these are big classes to go through everybody's designs, but we will do that. And I'm trying to think of an example. Maybe at the end I have just an example of a thumbnail. Wait a minute for the final. There's one of my giant paintings.
Oh my God.
It's 10
You
foot
did
by
that?
10 foot by 12 foot.
Oh my God. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's what I like. I love that kind of art.
I don't know, this is about a guy that lived down the street. And he was in a gang and he was challenging me all the time. And I'm like, no, you don't win. I will win. I won. He called me ma'am before it was all said and done. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I love the horns. Wow.
You know, so the day I dreamed that figure and I was like, where the hell am I going to get those giant horns that I dreamed? One of my students came up to my studio and knocked on the door, had her arms behind her and said, I have something for you. And she handed me that ram skull.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
there it is. No,
Wow.
Call me, you know.
my husband calling, I'm the dude. Well, I have an example. Okay. One more. I think. Okay. So for your designs, this is all I'm looking for. You don't need to divide them. This is for a different project, but I'm just looking for simple designs. I mean, if you want to get more complicated, that's fine. But you will not be graded down for simplicity because simplicity is beautiful. And I'll show you some examples of Matisse's work. So they're just line drawings. Just line drawings. Don't get involved in color and tonalities. That's not important yet. Okay. And we'll talk about that next. This is great though. Tape and gesso a piece of Bristol board on the back of a drawing board or something that's hard, that's not going to change, because when you put gesso on that paper, it's going to bubble, but if it's on some tape down to something hard, it will smooth out when it'll tighten again. So you have to tape it onto a board of some sort. And I want to, let me just show you. There's two things that I always show students, and I don't. Can you see these? Or no?
Yes.
Okay. So Matisse did this so amazingly. I mean, the most beautiful, beautiful designs.
Wow.
And he was really old and infirmed and in bed. And he had two beautiful young female assistants who would climb up the ladder. He would choose the colors, they would paint the papers, he would lay in bed, cut the shapes, and the girls would go up on a ladder and put them in the places. I mean, that's the like dream
Wow.
come true for a guy artist, right? It's like, and he would say, move it to the left, move it to the right. So that's how he created a lot of these. They're all cut paper, but they're so, so refined and beautiful.
Bless you. Over that way.
Really beautiful. That's my son. Simple, yes. Beautiful color choices. Simple.
Yeah, those colors are nice.
And the paint is just, he painted paper and then cut it out because that's all he could do at that point. Where'd that one go? How about that for focal point?
Oh, I like that.
No. So that kind of works for asymmetrical balance and focal point, right? Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So there's another thing that I show people because I always think this is kind of amazing. It's a rug store, which I buy rugs from all the time. But sometimes the designs are kind of amazing. Let me see. There's one size color. We want that. Usual search. Modern. Let's look at modern. Not so much that. Not so much that. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Repetition. I mean, the
I love
floral
those.
repetition. Think of wallpapers. Think of fabric design. I used to be a fabric designer too, and I did it all with cutouts. not the best. And then I don't know if this website is still up, but I will look and see. This is a girl I went to college with, an undergraduate. I don't know if she's still in business because we don't talk anymore. But she does what is called hospitality. This isn't what I want. Hospitality design. No, it's their website. That's her. She made me real angry and I quit talking to her. I'd known her for like 30 years. I'm like, no, I'm not listening to that. Go away.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's terrible. It made me sad, but she just said she didn't want to hang out with me and my strays,
Oh, God.
which were 2 former students. And
Strays? That's rude.
I'm
Right.
like, oh, I know you're so much better than me. I don't see her website. Maybe she quit doing this. Is Everett Fine Art, Everett Fine Art, Pinterest? Let's see if we see anything in there. So she does hospitality, which is a lot of it. It's commercial art for hotels and hospitals, but she puts some really good stuff together. 2 followers, boy, she's rocking it.
Are those
Um,
paintings?
So she does digital, and she used to do a lot of paintings. I think she went straight to digital stuff.
Oh, I
But
love it.
since you're working in paint, sometimes this stuff is real interesting to play with. Just, play with the paint, let it move. And I show you in the videos, like ways to just lay wet paint down and blow it around with a straw, which is fun. There's ways to spatter, there's ways to make constellations. There's all these different things I show you on the videos. So hopefully you'll get to, well, you kind of have to do that to do your next part, but just go through the principles of design this week and get your materials. And we will turn in your drawings, your thumbnail sketches. Now, the important thing to me is that I can see them clearly. So take good pictures. Like you can do, like say, 4 drawings of balance on 1 sheet of paper.
Oh.
And 3 1/4 by 2 3/4. So you can do 4, or I don't know, either 4 or 6, depending on that. And shoot good photos. Don't have them be all crooked, and they all have to be the same size because we're going to blow them up to that 11 by 14. If you do something that's not the same scale, it's going to be weird when you try to blow it up. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody understand that? Yeah.
I have a
So
question.
okay.
For the thumbnails, how many would you prefer us that we do?
I'm saying, I used to say 6 per each one, but usually people by 4 come up with a couple good ones. So do 4, and they shouldn't take you a long time. I mean, 15-20 minutes per principle
Okay.
could cover you. You'll get once you get rolling, it goes fast. Having done it in a classroom, once you get a couple done, you're like, oh, I got it now, and you kind of understand it. And the video is going to help you a lot as far as better understanding of those principles. So have those turned in before next class. If they're not all finished, I'm not going to grade you down, but you will have to get them all turned in and finished before you start painting. So I don't want people to get behind. So do your best to get, if your first one, your sketch, you're madly in love with, go for it. And I want you to use rulers. Don't just use rulers, okay, to make your rectangles. Otherwise they get all wonky. Is wonky a word?
Yes.
Very wonky.
I
I think
use
everything's
it.
a word nowadays.
Everything's a word. Okay, well, and I really, next class would love to see your faces. Well, you're gonna have to talk about your drawings and which ones you like, so I will want to see your face then. You know, we were not allowed to not have our cameras on. Graduate degree, so be prepared when you go to graduate school, you're not allowed to do that.
I'll get this sticker off.
Put your makeup on, girls, if you feel like you need it. Most of you are so young and beautiful, you don't need it.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I have a question. What's the best way to contact you?
Email, and it's leslie.brown@rcc.edu. And I check both the Canvas and my email every day. So the Canvas email and
Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions about your sketches, knowing what you have to turn in for next week?
You covered
I'm sorry.
Does anyone have any questions about what we're doing for next class?
No.
No?
Well, I did have one actually.
Okay.
For the sketchbook size, someone had asked, does it have to be on any specific paper? But I wanted to add on to that, like, does it need to be any size specific?
No, the sketchbook doesn't, just, you want to be able to fit a couple drawings on thumbnails on each page, you know.
Okay.
You can 6 thumbnails for each topic. You can do, say, 3 to 6. Just, you'll know when you feel like you have it worked out something. You'll know when you have something you like. I find that everyone kind of goes, okay. And then this sketch have to be on a specific paper. No. Just as long as it's on, you know, paper that accepts pencil.
Okay.
Oh, did I miss some? Oh, no, you're here, right? Okay. So I guess we meet at 10 o'clock. I am so sorry about that, for making you all wait. I'm dummy. I really thought, I think maybe last semester it was 9:30, so I was thinking 10:30. So I apologize deeply. I will not do that again. I will be here on time. I hate when people are late, and I hate when I'm late. So let me take roll real quickly, and I will need help remembering to take roll, please. So I have Brandon Aguilar. No. Mariana.
I'm here.
Monique. Adina. Am I saying that right?
I'm here.
Is
It's
that the right-
Adana.
Adana.
Yeah.
Okay. Lavana is here. Hayden. Jessica Marie. Stephen Ochoa.
Here.
Joseph. Follow. Fernando. Michael. Brandy. Marina. Katie. I hope they're all not thinking that it's
Katie's here.
Katie.
Sorry, I can't hear.
I hope they're not, I'll have 50 people. In those plans. Hello? Araceli?
At the end, we'll just say Katie Lou.
Like, you know,
Yes.
all the people that want to be in this class that even were not away.
Oh, yeah, somebody needs to mute because I'm hearing so much background. Stephanie Oliveira,
Here.
Priscilla,
I'm here.
Rosalind, Alex, Omar,
I'm here.
Anna, Cheyenne,
She's here, but I don't.
Anna,
She's somewhere.
somewhere.
No, I'm here. I thought you said Diane.
I did say Diane before you were here. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Elena
Here.
and David is here.
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, I will send out an announcement to tell people they missed class, I guess. So
My
ignore it.
name was not called unless you got me.
I got you.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. Well, you answered for your sister, so I figured you were.
Yeah.
All right, people, I really look forward to our semester together. It's more fun in person, but we'll do our best to party on here. And I
Yeah.
think I'm going to go buy a convertible right now to celebrate my graduation.
Oh,
Good. Congratulations.
right.
So if
Throw
you
a
see
grad party.
a convertible with a hot dog in it, you'll know it's me. All
Bring
right,
it when
Pete.
we go to the museum.
Yes, I'll cruise on in my Lexus.
Get a ride.
This is gonna be a fun class, I can tell already, so I look forward to us meeting next week at 10, I'm sorry. All right?
Sorry, I'm on the bus right now, so it's really hard for me to speak to get here. I wanted to see if you got the attendance from Katie Lou.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
Who's talking?
Katie is.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Did you get the attendance for Katie Lou?
For Katie Lou, yes, I got her.
Oh, you got her? Okay. Thank you. So
Okay.
sorry about that.
That's all right. Okay. So
It
we'll
was
see you next-
awesome meeting you.
Nice to meet you all too. I want to see those beautiful faces though. Very
Yeah.
picky about that. All right. So we'll see you next week.
Okay, see you then. Have a good
Okay.
night.
You
Thank you.
too.
Bye.
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 Bye.